Alright, hi guys. So I finished the first batch of Tatars out of the skirmish set I got several months ago. And these will, of course, be part of the Tatar contingent for my current historical project. Um, I gave them long lances. I don't think they're supposed to have those actually. According to the way they're shown in the by fire and sword boxes, but I thought maybe it would be good to have one unit of Tatars with lance and shield, just to, if I wanted to say they were like Tatar, Royal Guard or something like that, or I can run them as light, medium, or light cavalry as well. The ones in the back, I wanted to get them out too, just because I painted these. This is from a loose pack I bought at the Wargamer. I bought at the Wargamer shop in Warsaw, and I think these guys turned out pretty well too. But I trimmed their spears down, or I trimmed the lances down into spears. So, but we do have pretty good little contingent so far. I mean, still more to do. I did prep block in the colors for the command unit. I may give this guy a banner. The Tatar box set, I didn't come with any banners, so I may just use one of my Ottoman ones. One of the more kind of, it doesn't have to be generic, but I mean, they're both kind of Islamic banners, and I mean, the Tatars aren't quite the same, but anyway. But yeah, this is the Tatar Han. Got the kind of the Tatar style standard bearer, and then I think I'll give him like a flag on this guy. And the rest I have, these are the Tatars with bows. Now, on all the pictures of this set that I found, it doesn't really show these guys in with specific kind of unit commanders. I guess they're trying to get across that it's like a horde, but these guys look like they should be an officer just based on the cap, and he's got like the riding crop, I guess. So that's what I'm going to use these guys for. Yeah. And then, so these I decided will be like a big bow unit. And then for my game, what I want to do is use these guys, since they have like these lassos, and I guess this is supposed to be a torch. The guy was a standard bearer, but it broke off, unfortunately. And then like this scythe. What I want to do is give these guys like some special rules, that they're the plundering kind of force. I mean, most Tatars were plunderers, on campaign anyway, but yeah, maybe to give some additional kind of flavor to the game, I could try something maybe that, these can capture units, or now that I talk about it, I think what could be interesting, because taking captives was such a big part of like this kind of steppe frontier warfare. What I may say is that, like, for this Tatar unit, if it's in combat, or it's like supporting a combat, or like near a combat, even not even necessarily supporting according to the rules, but if it's a tie with the enemy unit, you can come in and they can make like a kind of an attack that they would capture the enemy unit that survived the combat or tied the combat, maybe something like that. That could be interesting. I mean, and what I may do then, or yeah, because I've been planning this Battle of Cecora out, and what I want to try to do is give like each player their own objectives and their own victory points. So like for the Tatars, you know, you kind of want to try to maximize like how many captives you can get, and then plunder, you know, you want to get the most plunder, so you want to try and get to the baggage train, you know, the Polish baggage train as fast as possible. So I don't know how I'd incentivize that in gameplay though, rather than just, you know, having people slog it out. Like what I'd want to do is try to get across, like, you know, okay, if you're playing the Tatars, your soldiers, even if you're the Tatar commander and you want to like fight a pitched battle, you know, your men are going to want to go for the camp, you know, because they're there to get the, you know, whatever they can loot, you know, they want loot from the campaign. So I have to think about that. I need to start writing this stuff down and maybe typing something up. I prefer to write things by hand, at least at first. And I also need to start seriously writing up the army lists, because I think I am going to use Baroque, and I think if I can go to this convention in a few months, and that way I can try Baroque, and if it doesn't really work, or I don't, you know, there's parts of the rules I don't like, I can change it, you know, I can adjust things, because it would be nice to go to like one of the big HMGS conventions to run this game, because then maybe I can go to the smaller one, see how well it goes, and then maybe by the time like Cold Wars or one of those rolls around, or even next year's Historicon, you know, I'll have more of the Cossacks, and maybe expand like the Polish army as well, and even the Ottoman army potentially. Anyway, that's just a thought, but that's kind of thinking about how to game, you know, give the armies a little bit more depth to how they would have behaved as much as possible. And then that way these guys have like more of a defined role, or some kind of special rule to make them, you know, kind of stand out, other than they're just modeled with different weapons. And then the Tatar archer, you know, mounted archers, I mean, that's pretty simple. You know, mounted archers, you know, they can evade. One thing I want to do with the mounted archers though, is I want to get across the idea of, you know, like basically a unit could be pinned by the arrow fire, because even though the arrows are not quite as powerful as a musket, I think the effect would be kind of similar to in like a more modern war game, or like a World War II game, where a unit can be kind of suppressed or pinned from you know, the arrows, whereas, you know, with musketry in the matchlock period, you know, you can't quite do that unless you're in kind of in the cases I've read, you know, that can happen, but that's more like a kind of a siege situation where you've got, you know, a static front, you know, with trenches and the fortress, you know, because trench warfare is actually much older than, you know, the Great War, actually, in terms of, but anyway. So I think I want to do that, you know, give the Tatar horse archers kind of a special rule that, because they're kind of the pros at being rapid horse archers, you know, they could kind of pin a unit. So maybe developing, giving them where if they get a certain number of hits with their bows, even if it doesn't result in casualties for the target unit, they will, the target unit is still kind of suppressed, and they can't make a move, the next turn, or they have to like do a morale check to see if they can, kind of break through and move through, something like that. I think that would be interesting. I think it would also help give archers in this period a little bit more kind of make them stand out a little bit more, because it is true, in the early modern period, archery was obviously on its way out, but you still had, especially kind of in the, in the East, you still had troops using bow and arrow for quite some time. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. Trying to get these Tatars done. They paint pretty quickly, so I think if I am diligent, I can get them all done, and I can do an army showcase for you guys soon. I do have to have some deadlines for some stuff articles I'm getting published, but yeah. And the last thing is this is like the Tatar rabble that's like, I guess, sent in front of the army. Got like a bunch of captives, some animals. So I think what I may do is use this more as like a camp, like to represent the camp. And I would like to get some more tents for my Ottoman army, because Khorasan did release some Ottoman tents. And now that I think about it, that's really helpful, because if you have a Polish army, you can also buy, or even a Hungarian one for that matter, for like for like the Renaissance period. They would go to Constantinople to buy Turkish tents. So, if you want to get the Khorasan Ottoman tent, you can use that for your Polish or your Hungarian army, especially Polish like noble army. So okay, well, I hope this was interesting. Thanks for watching, guys. And the last thing is, I did the stream last night at the time of filming this, and I gave a lot of recommendations on books on Central Asian history, because Meandering Mike was asking questions and bringing up in the chat. So I may try to do a book recommendation video on that, so people don't have to, sit through whatever, because I left the stream public, but I don't want people to have to sit through 3 hours of that just to find the recommendations. So, and plus, if I do something more condensed, I can think of other books that come to mind on that subject. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you found this one interesting. I'll just do one last look at the painted up figures, and hope you have a good day or evening wherever you are, and I'll talk to you in the next one.